gonna do my damnedest to get started on time today. If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know what's up. Let's see. Sue White says, I hope you're feeling better. Thanks, Sue. I'm feeling a lot better. Lots of downtime, so to speak, over the holidays. I appreciate that, Sue. Jeff says, hey, Joe, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Good evening from Gahana. Hey, Humphrey, how are you? Good to see you, man. Humphrey says you guys have a great support staff. They've been very helpful. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. We work really, really hard on our support team, as you guys know. What's up, Corbin, Mike, AJ McNitt? What's up? What's up? Valerie, Dan Manhers, Rita, David Dye, Glenn McDonald. Let's see, Don. What's up, Don? We're going to see you here. Jeff says your team is the bomb. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Philip, Laurel, Naomi, John, Keith. Good to see you guys. Greg says he's looking forward to the workshop on the 20th. So am I, Greg Park. It's going to be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys in person. See, Lonnie Sellis says it's going to be a great year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. David Wunsch, Jay Robert. Let's see, Jack Rutledge, John Kelly, Sarv, Tim Odom, Jeff Wiseman. Man, we got a lot of people on the call already. David, Jay, Jack, John Kelly, Sarvi, Tim Odom. Let's see, Jeff Wiseman, what's up, brother? Jim J, Mark Casey, Glenn Ho. Let's see, Bob R, what's up? Good. Let's see, he says Happy New Year. Timothy Lawless, what's up, brother? Brad Watson, Errol Francis, how you doing, Errol? Joe Glickman, Timothy Kate, Herb Russell, awesome, guys. Excited to have all of you guys on and so attentive already and interactive. Always good to have a good crew on here. Just grabbing a sip of water here. Hey, Ryan, are you there on the other end?
I'm here.
Awesome, brother. Cool.
Sure.
So, Rob Mullen says he's here from rainy Southern California. It's rainy here today, too, Rob, here in South Florida. We're going to be out in Southern California, Rob, February for Traffic and Conversion Summit, man. If you're out there, find me, hit me up on Twitter. We'll get together. And anybody else, obviously, on the call as well. If you are going to Traffic and Conversion, it's one of the only events that I make sure I attend every single year. So make sure you guys just hit me up on Twitter at Joe Troyer, and we'll get together for sure. Let's see. Tim says, where's map 4? Yeah, I messed up the link, guys, but a bunch of you guys got it or submitted support tickets. So basically, if you follow the URL pattern, it's just the same as before, but let me give that to you guys all. Let me put it in the chat for you. So it's, here we go, web1.co/execution-checklist-4. Cool, Tim? All right, let's get this thing kicked off. I'm gonna hit record, take a drink of water, and we'll get this thing underway. Welcome everybody to today's Launchpad Immersion number 4 webinar. So this is the 4th webinar that we've had officially today. I will be giving you guys the 5th checklist, which is the sales checklist, if you will. And also at the very beginning, if you guys remembered, I gave you guys another bonus, an interview with me and a gentleman that is crushing it in water damage selling, man, I can't talk. Selling specifically lead gen to water damage, crushing it, 200, 300 bucks a call, doing really, really well. And so I'll be giving you guys that as well today. That's in the execution map for you guys. Let me just go ahead and make sure you guys can see my screen. Here we go. Let me get back in here. Cool. So I want to step back a little bit. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sales, a little bit about the end of our year, if you will, a little bit of a challenge for all of you guys, and then we're going to kind of deep dive in, all right? So I always hear from people that sales is hard. I don't have time. I don't like doing it. I don't like calling people. I don't like cold calling, whatever it is, right? Just sales is hard in some degree, right? And I know that it can be intimidating, but the thing is you just have to get off your ass and you actually have to do it, right? So I don't know, honestly, many people that work like I work, and I don't mean that as a bash. I just really, really want it, and I want it more than anybody about that I've ever met, and I just won't take no for an answer. And partially that's because I'm not just here for myself, but I'm here for my family and to leave a legacy for my family. And no one's going to stand in my way with that. But to be honest, though, as well, guys, once you get through the sales process and once you learn how to sell, you're going to start to really like the process, right? And to be brutally honest, I love the grind. Okay, this is a game to me. Business is an absolute game to me. And I push myself to see what's possible and how far we as a company can go. So in the last 2 weeks alone, now almost 3 weeks now with the holidays, Christmas, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and everything else, in the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, we've sold 6 lead gen sites or deals. Okay, yes, over Christmas and New Year's, when you supposedly can't sell to local businesses, right? So in the last 2 weeks, yep, we've sold 6 lead gen sites or deals. 2016 for us is going to be a banger, and I'm hoping that it will be for all of you guys as well. So one of these sites alone, guys, this site is mobile dent repair. We went out, we sold our mobile dent repair site in Miami. Okay, this one site alone, we should be netting $3,600 a month. Okay, give me an aha if that's like huge. $3,600 a month from mobile dent repair. I mean, that's absolutely insane. What's up, Chris Vise? Good to see you on here, brother. Okay, so for mobile dent repair, we sold the leads for $30. Obviously, a big difference between water damage. But just want to kind of give you guys an update on what's going on for us, right? $30 a call. So that one alone, just one site, $3,600 a month net, right? Then we sold another 5 of them, all in the same niche, for water damage. Okay, together, guys, these should be about $30K a month net. Okay, because we have next to zero costs. And currently in the hopper, so to speak, in the funnel, we have 2 deals pending contracts. So I got verbal agreements for yeses, and the contracts are in their hands. I'm just waiting for a signature. So this year, guys, would it be cool if I just shared with you guys kind of our deal or our goals for this year in terms of the lead gen business? That'd be cool. Talk to you guys about what we're shooting for in terms of revenue, in terms of profit margin. Cool. All right, so our goal this year is to hit 100,000 per month with a 90% profit margin. Okay, and I'm obsessed with that profit margin side of things, right? Because if my profit margin is 50%, I got to do a whole lot more business and sales than if it's 90%. And that is completely possible. The great thing about the local lead gen business is that the cost of doing business is not very high, right? Building links, building sites. Basically, guys, the money that you put in one site, as soon as you get a business on board, basically you've broken even in your cash flow. Okay, so again, guys, my goal this year is 100,000 a month recurring, and I want that to be really steady, right? So 100, 105, 110, somewhere in there, but I want it to be really steady, plus or minus 10,000, right, a month, all right? And what we're looking for is a 90% profit margin, all right? So take home for the business should be about 90 grand a month. Okay, and I'm not pulling these numbers from anywhere. I've taken a lot of time and thought about this. But guys, the really, really cool thing here is that basically right now, where we stand, just from what we've done in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we should be making about $33,000, $34,000 a month and should already be at that 90% profit margin, right? So we're essentially almost a third of the way there or so, which is really cool. Awesome way to start out 2016, right? Get some awesome momentum on your side, start 2016 strong. So I'm going to give all of you guys a challenge. Anna says that the screen's not changing. I'm just chatting with you, Anna. I have no slides for this, all right? So I'm going to give each and every one of you guys a little bit of a challenge here, okay? Because I know that some of you guys need some motivation. So I'm going to do something that I think is pretty cool. So here's the deal. You sell a lead generation deal in the next week, and I'll personally jump on a call with you, one-on-one call, and help you guys plan something that fits you, fits your business to scale your business to 7 figures. All right. Plus, if you prove to me on that call that you're truly a go-getter, when we talk, I truly believe that I'm going to pay for your trip to our next passive assets mastermind, right? So that's typically $1,000 to come. And what happens is most people don't qualify to come to that event. So it's really the only way past now the qualifications to come. And obviously we'll pick up the $1,000 of expenses ourselves as well. Does that sound good? So I laid this out to a couple of people over the holidays. And we've got one person that already took us up on the deal and made it happen. So Barton Murray, are you on the call today, brother? So I don't see, let's see, Barton. I got a call with Barton after this webinar. So I don't see him on. So Barton took my challenge, right? So on New Year's Day, I talked to Barton, and he decided to get off his butt and take a different course of action. So I'm just going to read you guys what he had to say. Know at the end of the day that Barton just sold a deal for $1,500 a month recurring, and he got a credit card over the phone in a completely different city than he lives in. Okay? So again, I'm not going to read this because it's really long. Maybe I'll post it in a group or I'll put it out in the replay. So basically he says at the end, this is just my favorite part. He says, Joe, this is the first time I've received payment via credit card, long distance, and more than I've ever been paid on a monthly basis. I've broken through a self-imposed barrier after 7 years of this shit, and it feels great. Regards, Bart Murray. Okay, that's awesome. That's why we do this stuff. So I want to see you guys break through. Right? Because I want to surround myself with people that are out there gunning and that are doing stuff. Sound good? Give me a 1 if you guys think that's cool. You guys are in for the challenge and you're going to make it happen just like Bart did. Cool? So here's the deal, guys. This is a week-long contest, all right? Week-long. Okay, so to qualify, guys, all that you need to do is show us proof that you sold a lead gen deal and submit a support ticket through our support desk, web1support.com. When that happens, my team's going to alert me, and then I'll be picking up and chatting with you through the support desk. Cool? Cool. David said he's already got 2 prospects or clients ready to deal with me. Go seal that. Let's do it, David. Cool. So before we dive in, I want to do a little bit of house cleaning, understand exactly where you guys are in this process, all right? So we're going to do this a little different than the past webinars. I give you the guys the challenge to get caught up over the holidays, and so I want to see how you guys actually fared, all right? So if you guys are done with execution map number 1, and that's the furthest that you've made it, give me a 1, right? If you're done with 2 and that's the furthest you've made it, give me a 2. If you're done with 3, but you didn't make it anywhere past 3, right? You didn't finish 4, give me a 3. Okay, and if you're all caught up, you're done with all 4 so far, give me a 4. All right, and I'm just going to just wait a couple of seconds for the responses to come in. We got about 215 people on the webinar, and I just want to make sure everybody has a second to give their vote. Let us know where they're at. All right, cool. I am seeing lots of 3s and 4s, which is absolutely fantastic. 4 minus a couple hiccups in the middle of 3, almost or completely done. That is absolutely fantastic. Good job, Jack, for finishing. Andrew Clark. What other 4s we got in here? Chris Van Oosten. Errol Francis. Good job, brother. Let's see. Natalie says she's almost done with 4 with 2 sites. Charlie says 4. Awesome, Charlie. Good to see you on here, Charlie Turner. Let's see. Errol Francis done. Rob Hum done. Cool, guys. Fantastic job. So we got about, I would say, 70% of you are above being finished with 3. Which is fantastic, right? So we got a couple stragglers behind. Don't feel bad. Jump on a call with Ryan, guys. Get caught up. So each and every one of you guys should know Ryan's contact information by now. Go schedule a consult with him if you guys are running into trouble or need some help with a couple of sections, all right? Brian says he's got 18 sites built, but he's having trouble getting them to rank. Make sure, Brian, that you're following through the execution map, all right? Cool. Alan says he did the first 2 in 1 day, so that's fantastic. John says, John Utz, good to see you, brother. John says he sold his Google My Business and sites for high 6 figures. Dude, John, we need to catch up. I hope you're feeling good, man. Your health is in good shape, man. Missing you in the mastermind. Cool, guys. So today's goal is I want to spend a couple of minutes, guys, and just answer some questions. We'll put 10 minutes here on the clock, and so we got till 2:23, let's say. I'll just answer any questions that you guys have. It can be general SEO, it can be lead gen, anything kind of, or anything specific about the execution maps, and Ryan and I will tackle those right now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to run through the sales execution map and run through that process. Cool. So the other thing I'm going to do is make sure that you guys have the links for all the execution maps. I'm going to go ahead and just put this in the chat for you guys. So questions. Got 10 minutes here, and then we're going to jump into the sales execution map. So we got till 2:23. All right. Andrew says he's having trouble finding authority listings for my sites. Any suggestions on this? So Andrew, did you check out so let's back up a second. Andrew is talking about authority citations is how I'm taking it for Google My Business, right? So good places to put his actual citation. So the first thing to do, guys, is go check out the post on digital triggers for how to rank on Google Maps. So if you guys just pull up your favorite browser and do a search for that, you should see digital triggers come up. So how to rank on Google Maps, if I could spell right. Here we go, digital triggers. If you pull this up and if you share it here, you're going to get all of kind of our research and resources on authority citations. So Andrew, try that first. If you still don't find many, what you're going to want to do is run it through Whitespark, and you're going to want to look at your competitors versus your citations, and then blend everything together and just come up with a list solely, Andrew, of the citations that your top 3 competitors have that you don't. And then what you're going to want to do is just turn those over to WL Marketing and have them build those out for you. Cool. Jeff Osinski, I'm not sure what you really mean, man. If you could submit a support ticket, I'm not going to ignore you. I'll make sure that my team lets me know. But just go into some more details, take some screenshots so I can look into that one a little bit more for you. Okay? All right, Jeff. Let's see. Bruce says he's having some problems with HostGator and his site being down. HostGator just had one hell of an attack the other day. And basically HostGator was down. If you guys do some lookups on Google, you'll see everybody basically on the interwebs was complaining about HostGator. Let's see. So Errol says, I'm ranking in the first page in the 3-pack for one of my keywords. Congrats on that, by the way, buddy. I would love to get a quick testimonial from you, Errol, if that's cool. If you would, just I'll answer your question, obviously. But if you just put in another comment with a testimonial of the results that you got, that would be fantastic, brother. I really appreciate it. He says he's ranking on the first page in the 3-pack for one of his keywords, but his map placement and directions don't show up. So Errol, if you hide your location, you won't have a pin on the map and you won't have directions, okay, because you're hiding your location. So the way to get that, if you want it, I don't care to have it personally. That's why I told you guys to hide your address, right? But if you actually, if you want it, what you want to do is go back and change your preferences inside of Google My Business. Just know, Eric, that if you say you service people at your office or at that address, that it may trigger another Google verification. All right. Let's see. Rob Mullen says his first lead gen site is near his home. Is it okay to use the home address? It is, as long as it's within that city center or the maps areas, what's in the maps, right? The criteria that we gave you guys for finding an address is to do a search, find out what's already on Google Maps, right? And then it needs to be in that same area, right? So if I do West Palm Beach attorney, just because the attorneys have really good listings on Google Maps, there's always a bunch of them. What I would want is something in between the locations here. So here's a listing, here's a listing, here's a listing, right? So somewhere in the, I'm sorry, you guys can't see my screen. Somewhere in this area is where you guys would want your actual physical address. Cool, so Rob, as long as that's the case, man, yeah, use your home address. Keith Hill says, can you post the Launchpad trainings again? The replays themselves, Keith, are inside of Launchpad. The checklists are in the chat. I just resent them. Rob says, thanks for your answer. You got it, brother. All right, so we're about out of time. 5 more minutes. Why is that? I'm assuming, Teresa, you're talking about the maps. That's just the way that it is. That's how you want it, right? It's very hard to make this area change from our experience. Let's see. Christopher Hansen says, can we verify with Google by forwarding calls from our Twilio numbers to our cell phone? So, Christopher, there's 2 different types of verifications that we do with Google. Regular, just Google account verifications. And what I mean by that is when you go in here, let's see. Let me just show you guys real quick. So when you do a Google account verification, you can definitely use Twilio, right? So if I sign into a different account, let me just pull this off my screen for a second so I can actually pull up an account that I can show you guys something in. So I'm going to do Sarasota restorationexperts@gmail.com. All right, cool. So I'm logged into this account now. And the way that you do verifications, that's so weird. The way that you do verifications through Google, so you can see I'm signed into Sarasota Restoration Experts at Gmail. What you're going to want to do is click this icon, or this icon, wait, yes, this one right here, the little tabs right here, and you're going to want to go to My Account, right? Then under here, you're going to go to Your Personal Info, and right here is going to be the phone number that you guys use to sign up with your Google account, okay? And this phone number is our lead gen site phone number, right? And so to verify this, what I do is I log into Analytic Call Tracking and I forward the SMSs to my cell phone. So when I do this verify now, I click Get Code and the SMS, you know, the little pin that they send me goes straight to my cell phone. So I hope that helps. Christopher, for Google My Business verification, we're doing the postal address verification, right? So they're sending out the postcard. We're setting a calendar reminder for 2 weeks, and then we're calling up Google with a resource that we gave you guys to do our phone verification. All right. Kelly Smith said, I found that lots of Twilio's numbers don't work to verify. The important note there, Kelly, is that you need to make sure that you're using the SMS verification, not voice verification. And the other thing is if you sign up for 10 accounts right in a row, almost no phone number is going to let you phone verify, right? So change up your IP address, delete your cache, delete your cookies, things like that. Let's see, Tom says, Local Oxygen never called me back. Man, Tom, you got to understand, I just gave their information to like 400 local marketers, right? So they're a little busy right now. Well, but what you need to realize is that over Christmas and New Year's, we verified 6 Google My Business listings. So they're definitely returning calls. Just got to fight for it a little bit, man. How bad do you want it? Can we use a UPS store? No. Gregory says, I get this message when I try to use the import feature. I'm assuming inside of Google Maps. Don't do that, Gregory. Submit it by hand, not through the CSV. Timothy says, I submitted my business on December 16th. No postcard yet. Should I use the alternate solution? Yes, you should, Timothy. 2 weeks, man. Kelly, I gave you the solution. Probably what happened is you signed up for multiple accounts right away, right? So you need to be careful with your IP address and your cache and your cookies. Okay, but for the sake of Google verifications, right, your Google account, not Google My Business, Kelly, you can just change out the phone number and use any other phone number. It doesn't have to be Twilio. Okay, use your cell phone number. Can we use a postal annex with a box? I wouldn't suggest it, right? There's a reason I told you guys exactly how we do things, right? All right, guys. So we got about, it's time for us to get started. I'm going to answer one more question. Rick says, can you provide the Oxygen contact info again, please? It's in the execution map, buddy. What's the name of the service to verify our Google business accounts? Again, local Oxygen Reno. It's in that section in the execution map. Can we use a postnet address? Guys, you guys can do whatever you want. This is our process, and we have a very specific process for a reason, right? This is what works for us. So I would suggest following our process, or you could end up having a different result. Did you say Gmail will work or that Twilio will work for Gmail PVA? Joe Glickman says, yeah, Joe, I've set up probably since Christmas about 20 different Gmail PVAs through Twilio with not one problem. All that I did is kept using fresh proxies that were local to what I was setting up, changing my cache, changing my cookies, etc., and had no problems. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys, let's jump in. So I'm going to give you guys checklist number 5 here, and then we are going to dive into it. So Ryan, man, let me know if you get any good questions as we're going through things. So here we are. All right, guys, so this is execution checklist number 5. Obviously, the goal of this checklist is finding your prospects, getting sales. So the big difference that I want you guys to understand between general prospecting and lead gen site prospecting is that we have a much narrower target. What I mean by that is typically when you start out with sales, you can target any niches you want or any cities you want. Okay, let's say that you are only going to go after restoration companies. You could literally go after any type of restoration company or any restoration company in the United States, let's say. Right? So your target is very, very wide, right? You have lots of people to market to. And so typically when you have lots of people to market to, you're going to focus 80-20, right? And so you're just going to do as little as you can to get people answering and calling you guys back. Right? Does that make sense? You're going to be doing cold email or voice broadcast, and as long as that works, you're not going to go deeper. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. It's all 80-20, and because you got this big list of prospects that you can go after, you don't have to go real deep with the prospects. Okay? That is not, I repeat, not how you guys should be doing prospecting for local lead gen. And the reason is because we don't have thousands of businesses that we can go after. We've set up a site, for example, in Miami or Southern Florida, and we have maybe 10 cities or 5 cities that we can go after that could service that one site. Okay, so we have to do everything possible to get in front of the business owner. Okay, and once we get a client, we'll stop, right? But we keep all of our old data so that if that client ever goes away, we can pick right back up with our marketing campaign and we don't have to go get all the leads and start back from scratch again. Does that make sense? Give me a 2 if that makes sense to everybody. So we take things a little bit more serious, and we do a little bit more data collection, verification, and making sure that we're actually targeting the right person than we would if we could cast a really, really big marketing net and be, sending our information and our marketing campaigns to 1,000 people. Okay, so the goal of this checklist, again, is to get your sales process down so that you guys can start to scale your lead gen sites. Note that this process is the most basic process for our sales team. And with us starting back our sales team in a big way this year, this is the process that we're starting with. There is lots of other things that you guys can do to tweak your results. However, it just makes the whole system more complex, right? The more things that you add, the more complex it gets. So this is how we're starting. This is the MVP, if you will, to make sure that we're getting this sales cycle off the ground and we're getting clients. And guys, using this exact checklist, we just picked up multiple clients like you guys heard us at the beginning of the call, right? So it does work, okay? But understand that there's lots of tweaks and direct response type stuff that you guys can add to this sales process. However, don't do that until you've got this sales process working, okay? Don't contact one person and say, this didn't work, I'm reinventing the wheel, right? And go change a bunch of shit. If you do that, you're going to fail, okay? If you're doing 6 figures with lead gen and you are able to sell well, then by all means, start to reinvent, start to make things better. But until then, don't touch the sales process, okay? Can I get a 3 if you guys are all in agreement with that? You'll take this for face value, you'll follow it, you'll go through it, you'll get clients, and when you're doing 6 figures, then and only then will you change up the sales process and start to modify it. Cool. So by the end of this execution list, the goal is to have a clean and verified list, and specifically of the correct contact people for the niche and city that you're targeting. Okay, so many times I see people that are doing lead gen, they use a scraper tool, they blast it out and they say, I didn't get any contacts, right? Or my contact ratio is really low. I got some opens, but I didn't get any responses, or I only got 1 out of 100. And when we dig in and when we look at what happened, they're sending the emails to the wrong people. They're not sending them to the decision makers. So what do you think is going to happen? Okay, or they're being over promotional in their emails or in their voice broadcasts, and so they're just not going to get very good results, right? When you have a huge list, right, you can do that. Okay, when you have a smaller list, you need to take it slower. You need to take more time verifying the information and making sure that you guys are contacting the right people. Okay, so then you will have our swipes, right? We're going to give you guys our swipes so you guys can see examples of our emails, our voice broadcasts, and our direct mail pieces. And obviously, you guys can rip these and use them word for word, all right? Number 3, you guys will have answers to the most common objections and how to deal with them. And you guys will know exactly what to do when a prospect says yes. So the other thing I've ran into is as soon as somebody kind of follows our process, and they actually get somebody, a prospect, to say yes and come on board, it's like, oh shit, now what do I do, right? And their onboarding process is a disaster. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit at the end of this about our onboarding process, right? So step number 5 here is specifically our onboarding process. And it's easy, but I'm assuming even those of you guys that are bringing on clients regularly are going to have a couple of things in the onboarding process that you guys aren't doing. Cool? So step number 1 is just building a list, okay? And this is really just part 1 of building the list. And we put building a list into 2 pieces. Let me grab a sip of water here. Because we need to find everybody that we can sell to. If we're going after restoration in Miami, we need to find every restoration company, and we need to find the right contact. Software can't do all of it, okay? By all means, software can do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then we can go behind it and just fill in the gaps, and that's what we do. So we use Lead Kahuna for our first step, okay? Lead Kahuna is a tool by David Sprague. It's a good tool. One of the reasons, beside it just being awesome and probably one of the best scrapers in the space, the other reason that we support it is that it's always being updated, right? They've been promoting that software for, I don't know now, 3 years or something, and they just keep updating it and updating it and updating it, right? So we want stuff that works and that continues to work. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in the city, we're going to put in the niche, we're going to have it scrape all the information, guys. And personally, I've done this so many times, I don't do it anymore. I give it to one of our VAs that actually runs on a PC, and they run our list through Lead Kahuna. When they are done with the list, when Lead Kahuna is done running, what they do is they export that to a CSV, and then they copy and paste the information into a Google Doc. Okay? So just a little note here. I got David to hook you guys all up with Lead Kahuna if you don't have it. Supposedly, David gave me the same price that he gives people in his mastermind. I forget what the pricing is. $97 for Lead Kahuna. And if you want LeadAware, which is the open tracking software that he has, that's only $47 a year, right? And if you want, you can say 0 and clear it out. Or you should be able to 0. I don't know. Maybe it's just my cache. So that's cool, right? Little hookup there from David Sprague. So thank you, David. Step number 2 is what we call, like, it's all about the details, right? So in this step, we do some legwork, again, to ensure that we have good contact information for everybody and that we're contacting the right people, okay? That the email address is valid before we send our email, right? Like, if it's not going to be valid, then why do we even send the email, okay? Let me see here. Where are we in this process? So anybody that we didn't get emails for, that Lead Kahuna didn't pull emails for, we're going to go try to find contact information for, and I'm going to show you guys some tools for that. Plus, we're going to do our best, again, to verify the existing contact information that we have. So just a couple of tools that we use for this, and I'll run through them quick, but there's some videos here as well. The first tool is a tool called Mail Tester. And basically what this does is allows you to put in any email address, and it will tell you if the email is valid. So a lot of email addresses that you guys find and that you scrape are going to be Gmail addresses, and this thing works really, really well with Gmail. So I put in just a fake, like, this isn't a fake email, this is like a spam email that I use. When I sign up for people's lists and their promotions and stuff, I use this email address so it doesn't flood my primary inbox. And it'll tell you that the email address is valid. But if I just keep putting in stuff, you'll see if I put in something fake, it should tell me here that it's not valid, right? Email address does not exist on the server. So cool little tool to check and see if a email is even deliverable, right? If we can even email them. If not, what's the point? Okay, we need to go back again because we don't have a ton of contacts in a specific niche in a specific city that we can mail. We need to do our best to get the right contact info. This tool is absolutely killer. This is called emailhunter.com. And so with this tool, what you do is you put in a domain. So how many of you guys have heard of ServPro? ServPro. So John Utz says, Joe, my best results come from lumpy mail, bank bag, etc. Get attention of the owner. Also a $10 clip to the top of a letter. Send 10 letters for $100. Usually get 2 clients. Awesome tip there, John. So ServPro is a huge franchise for water damage, and they have franchisees basically all over the nation. If I could spell right, Serve with a V Pro. Right, so if I put in servpro.com in here, it's going to return back email addresses that they have. Guys, check this out. This is sick. Rick at ServPro, Rick Foster at ServPro, R. Foster, Sue Steen, Sue at ServPro, right? This is everybody in the company. Okay, I'm getting 28, 29 email addresses found at ServPro. Okay, so what I would do here is then I would look up these people and who is the right person at ServPro if I wanted to contact the guy that handles all the marketing at ServPro, right? So the other one that I want to show you guys is Qzx900. So this is a two-part tool. Qzx900 is. They have a Chrome extension for you to use, and then they also just have a bunch of data aggregation in the back end as well. So check this out. Let's say that I wanted to look for ServPro again, right? ServPro. Let's not say .com, just ServPro, right? So this is sick. 9,918 total results found, and total results is people. So it found 9,918 people from ServPro. Okay, works at ServPro. Eric Clark, Jack Oliver works at ServPro. Jack Gross, WaterTech, works at ServPro, right? So what I would do here is specifically look for who are the decision makers that work at ServPro, right? And I can get even more detailed if I want. I could put ServPro here, and then I could dig in and I could say Atlanta. Okay, let's say that I couldn't find the guy in Atlanta that was in charge. How could I reach out to Troy and find out who's the guy in charge of their marketing? Okay, I could hit up Troy and say, hey, Troy, I'm trying to find the guy from Atlanta ServPro, the company that you work for that's in charge of marketing. We're getting 3 to 4 leads a week, and we don't have anybody to send them to. Wondering if it would be a good fit for you guys. Who do you think I should send that email to, right? That works super, super well. And if you click here, Get Contact, what this is going to do is you get free credits every month, I think like 50 of them. And what it'll do is it'll pull all that data and put it in your favorites for you. And a lot of times, guys, we're pulling back email addresses. Troy Mullins. We're pulling back email addresses from that contact, right? So this one doesn't have it available, but LinkedIn does. He's got his LinkedIn profile. Okay, so that leads me to another little nifty trick that we have our outsourcers use to compile the best data possible, and we just do some advanced searching within LinkedIn. So I click Advanced here, and again, let's say that we're looking for ServPro in Atlanta, right? Because we've identified that ServPro could be a really good contact for us. When I click Advanced here, we're going to say, you can either do it by keywords or you can do company. So company is ServPro. Location, we're going to go on or near or in or near, and then we need to put in a postal code. So who knows a postal code for Atlanta? Anybody here live in Atlanta? Atlanta zip code. 30301. 30301. 30301, right? So I'm going to say within, let's just say 15 miles, so we make sure we get some good data. I don't know where that zip code actually is. If I'd spell ServPro right, that would help, right? All right, cool. So now the results that come up, we got Tiffany Royal, who's the office manager of ServPro in these 2 counties, right? I think that's 2 counties. Guys, again, I don't know anything about Atlanta. Commercial division manager at ServPro. And so, guys, again, who I'm looking for is either like the marketing director of the location, or I'm looking for the franchisee person themselves, right? Who is that contact, right? So, commercial accounts manager, business development. So business development could be an okay person to chat with, right? Business development, Greater Atlanta area. Here we go. Check this out. G. Scott somebody, owner, operator, ServPro franchise, Georgia. Boom. This is the owner operator. This guy paid for the franchise for ServPro. That is who we want to contact. Okay? So cool or what? I know there's probably niftier ways to dial in with LinkedIn. Personally, I don't use LinkedIn that much except for this very purpose. I was able to identify a franchise here in South Florida that, based upon the locations that one franchise owner had, I was able to find that he was the perfect fit, right? He was in about 6 cities, and we had 3 lead gen sites that were in some of his cities, right? So I contact the guy. I'm like, hey, we're getting, let's say 7 calls a week from for water damage in these 3 cities. I saw that you're the owner operator or you're the franchisee of these cities. I'm wondering if you're interested in getting the calls. Call me back if you are. Dude literally sends me a message an hour later and was like, call me ASAP, and gave me his phone number. Literally 2 days later, signed contract, done deal. Okay? Okay, so don't take this for granted. You don't have to market to that many people. Understand, guys, you have the best offer that you could give anybody. What's that, right? Only pay for leads. Okay, in my other business, if you guys came to me and said, Joe, I could get you SEO company leads for $5 a piece, I'd say, can you send me 5,000 tomorrow? No shit, right? Like, this is the best possible thing that you guys could ever sell somebody. Does that make sense? So how much do you charge for the calls? So great question, Patrick. The easiest way for you guys to understand the industry, if I could type, man. If you guys do a search for SEO proposal template digital triggers, go check out this post. There's an analysis, even though you guys aren't selling SEO necessarily, there's an analysis in here that is absolutely brilliant for coming up with your lead price, right? It gets your prospect to spell out exactly what's going on in his business, meaning how many calls does it take to get somebody to book an appointment, for example. Then how many booked appointments does it make to actually get a sale? Then what's the average customer value? And helps you work everything back with the prospect for you to understand exactly what you can be charging, right? So if you guys just do a search for SEO proposal template digital triggers, you just come on the site and go through the pages. You guys will find that, and it's a resource here for this. The other way for you guys to understand to some level what leads are worth is to look at Home Advisor's pricing, right? But the best way, guys, do this. Do this, take your clients through this, and it's going to really, really, really help. So the other way is with Home Advisor. So I wasn't going to give you guys this. All right, so we have 250 people on the call. How many of you guys would like for me to give you guys the new service or the new Home Advisor pricing? This hasn't been out. Nobody in the market has even known where this is. We've had it for about a year. Nobody's said anything. Everybody's been keeping their mouth shut. I don't think anybody really knows where it is or how to get a hold of it. We've been sharing it with our mastermind. Ryan, let me know when you think we have about half. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, quite a few people are pining for that.
No, nobody has it, right? Like, that's the thing is, like, it used to be a big thing. Everybody would share the PDF of the different lead pricing, but nobody's really had this new pricing. And the way that we got this pricing, by the way, is we had a client that was using Home Advisor. We were prospecting them, right? They're a prospect. They're using Home Advisor, and he literally let us log into his account so we could see everything that was going on, and that's how we figured out this stuff, right? So, all right, guys, this is it. So let me show you how it works. It's a little finicky, but I'll show you guys how this works. So it says there's a problem with the page that you're looking for, but for some reason, if you refresh, it works. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? Okay, so when you load the page, please don't put in a support ticket with my team saying it's getting an error. Okay, pay attention for 1 second. Make sure you refresh the page, okay? It always does that, every single time. So go to the URL and then refresh the page, and it'll actually pull up for you. Okay, so next what you're going to want to do is you're going to select your category. You're going to select your state. So we're going to do AC and cooling systems in Florida. Then we're going to select our area, right? So Miami, for example, and we're going to click View Pricing. And here is the pricing. Okay, you guys got the new pricing. Congratulations. Is that good shit? Cool. Rob said the refresh work. Thanks. So technically, guys, if they see all of this traffic, they might close it. But I think what's really going on is I think that this is supposed to be behind a login page. If you see, that's what it looks like, right? Like this is like a back end for their customers, right? And I think it's a little loophole right now. I don't think that they know that their pricing is actually public. So just know that this could go away tomorrow. All right, so that's how you figure out the pricing. If I were you guys, I would look at Home Advisor first just to have an inkling if your guy's like just full of shit, right? And then what I would do is I would take them through the SEO proposal template analysis, and that's going to help you guys really understand what a lead is worth to them. Okay? And guys, if you are feeling like you're selling leads for too cheap, please go through that SEO proposal analysis. That is absolutely gold. Okay? That is worth big, big money. Okay, we had a client of ours, just like you guys, go out to a prospect that they were charging $25 a lead for, and literally in one conversation, we're able to take that with that template from $25 a lead to $75 a lead. All right, big, big difference. So if you guys have clients right now, that is a perfect way for you guys to bump up what you're getting paid per client. Cool? All right, so I gave you guys kind of some good tools that we go through to finish building the list, right? To fill in the gaps, to verify it, and to make sure ultimately that we have a good list. And guys, I'm willing to put in a lot of time and effort in these first two steps because I am building an asset here, right? I'm building an asset for Miami Restoration, for example. I want to know the contact information and all the players for everybody in the restoration space in Miami. Why? So once I stop working with somebody, very quickly, I don't have to go do a bunch of work again. I have a Google Doc with everybody's contact information and who I should be contacting, and we can pick up another client and replace that old client within a couple of days. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? 111. Everybody get that? Cool. So step number 3, we just call our multi-touch approach. So the other big thing, obviously, is when we don't have as many people to market to, is we have to use multiple channels, all right? So guys, we use voicemail, we use actual phone calls, we use email, and we use direct mail. Okay, we use all of them. Okay, but we use it in a staggered approach. Okay, so we will do one of them. If that doesn't work, then we'll do the other, and then we'll just keep following up, right? Because if I can make some phone calls or some voice broadcasts and pick up a client on day 1, there's no reason that I needed to waste a bunch of money on direct mail. Okay. So I gave you guys a link to a zip file. These are all of our swipe files, all right? So now that we have the decision makers info, we're going to execute on the multi-touch approach. So when we talk to a prospect, that's a decision maker, and we are new to this business, so most of you guys on the call, right? And when we have a new person that's prospecting for us and they're new to this business, we make them a very, very easy pitch, okay? And basically, we'll give you 3 days of free leads. So we used to give away just, let's say, 10 leads. But what would happen is that the decision maker for the company, let's say we're working with Surf Pro in Miami, they don't know when we send them 10 calls, right? Then I'd call them up and say, hey, buddy, we sent you the 10. Let's chat about more. And he's like, hey, hang on. I didn't even know we got 10. Right? So instead, we put a time limit on it as a number of days. right? So the offer is we have 30 calls or 10 calls or 5 calls coming in a week. What I want to do is I want to show you the value of these leads for free. Okay, so for 3 days, I'm going to send you all of the calls absolutely for free so you can see how good our leads are and how much money you can generate with those leads. And our goal is in those 3 days that you actually generate some revenue, right? That's super key too, right? Why do we want them generating revenue in those 3 days from our leads? Right? Because now all of a sudden they have a marketing budget, right? They just made money from us for free, right? We grease that wheel so that they want more. We have credibility then. Okay, so as soon as those 3 days are up, we stop the calls, we follow up with them, we call them always on the phone first. If they don't answer, we'll shoot them a text and an email, and we'll say, hey, just want to let you know the 3 days are up. Here's what we sent you. Here are the recordings, right, from the calls from analytic call tracking. Here's what actually happened with the calls that we sent you for 3 days. I paused the calls. I'd like to chat with you guys about you guys solely getting all of the leads from this site. You guys did an awesome job with these. Let's touch base right away, right? And that's it. Okay? And if you're brand new, you don't know what to charge them, the next thing that you guys should do is take them through that analysis so you guys can understand exactly what the leads are worth for them. Okay? Mike says, when you stop calls, where do you send the calls that go, or where do you send the calls, right? When you stop giving the calls to the company that you're working with, you can send them to another company, right? You could have 2 people that were prospecting on the line, right? So for 3 days, you could send one them, and the next 3 days, you could send the next person them, right? Or you can go to voicemail, right? Voicemail is just kind of a waste. Okay, but you need a dramatic effect. You need the phone to stop ringing so much for them. You need their staff to say, you know what's really weird, Mr. Business Owner or marketing person? I haven't been getting any more of those calls that say you have a new incoming call from Web 1. They just stopped, right? They're not getting that whisper message anymore from us. Everybody knows what a whisper message is, right? If you don't, give me a 2. Check out real quiet. I think I'm going ahead over some people's heads. 222. So the whisper is basically inside of analytic call tracking. We can play a message when we send a lead to a company. So when the receptionist answers, let's say we're working with Miami Surf Pro. She says, Miami Surf Pro, this is Janie speaking. She only hears this message, and we play a message that says something to the effect, this is a new incoming lead from Web 1, right? And you guys can make it say whatever you want. Okay, so it's your company name or your personal name. You have a new incoming call from Tom Gordon, from Rob Mullins, right? We want them to know that the call stopped. That's why we stop them. We want that dramatic effect. We want them to say, what just happened? We want those back. Okay, if you don't have that fear of disconnect, trust me when I say it's going to be much harder to close the deal. The deal is going to take longer to close, and it's going to be harder to close. Rob Mullen says, is that a service that requires the enterprise level of ACT? No, it just is an ACT, Rob. Cool. Let's see. Mike says, do you get hangups from the delay and the whisper? No, not at all. All right, guys. Any questions real quick on step 3, kind of the approach that we're using in this multi-approach, and any of the kind of the offer type of questions? Real quick, I'll just show you guys what some of the direct mail and emails and voicemail templates or scripts look like. So basically, this is the general messaging. Everything gets changed up a little bit, but the messaging for the sequence is basically the same, right? Hi, this is Joe, again, calling from, and guys, we always use site name when we're prospecting. So this is another little tweak that I don't see many people doing, right? So I'd call and say, Hi, this is Joe calling from Miami Restoration Pros, and I'm calling it again because I'm still looking for a restoration company in Miami for the leads we're getting. We're getting calls literally every day from prospects looking to get a good water damage company out to their house as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we just can't help them right now. We're too backed up, and I would hate for these leads to be wasted. I really need someone to send them to. Can you tell me who I can talk to about this sort of thing? You think that call is going to get through the gatekeeper? Give me one if you think that call is going to get through the gatekeeper. Hi, I'm your competitor. I have these leads. I can't help. They need you. Who should I talk to? Right? That's a win, right? Awesome. Somebody said I sound like Chris Beatty. Glenn, I should sound like Chris Beatty. You know why? Chris Beatty is a student of mine. Chris Beatty was a success story that came from our lead gen program. That's why he promotes us all the time. And on every single beginning of the webinar, that's what he said. I love these guys, and I always promote them, and the reason why is because I was one of their students, and I had success with what they were teaching. Okay? So, yes, these swipe files are in here for you guys, right here. This link right here will download them for you. Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right. So questions on that section 3. Hey, William, I just resent you the link. Barry says he's heard of using whisper calls as a first approach to generate leads. Is that still a good method? It is. I think this approach is better, right? If you tell the decision maker first, I want to send you some leads, they say, of course. They know that you're sending the leads, right? I just find that approach works a little bit better. But you can use the other method too. Great information, well done. Thanks, Patrick. How many companies is Home Advisor selling leads to? Is it still 3? Yeah, 3 to 5 actually, Sue, typically is what we're finding. If you talk to Home Advisor's people, you'll still get the same sentiment that they've been getting forever. You know, people aren't happy, things like that. So while we're on Home Advisor, the other thing that you guys should be doing is you guys should be calling the Home Advisor people, right? The people that are paying for leads from Home Advisor. So if you guys go in here, let's say that we need actually I think we need to go in these top categories. Remodels, let's say, additions. Forget how to get into these directories now. So if I fill this all out, they're going to send my lead to somebody. Instead, I forget how here we go. If you click on these categories in the bottom, and you go in through the bottom versus their main like get quotes now forms, you can actually get listings of the people in the city, right? So these are all people that are paying potentially Home Advisor for calls and for leads, right? So this is the way to get their information directly, right? So super, super easy. In some niches, people aren't really used to paying per call. And so if you can go to Home Advisor and you can find people that are used to paying already, it's very easy to sell against Home Advisor. So we've done that as well. John says he's not seeing 400 a lead, more like 60. John, I don't know what you're talking about with 60, right? But with water damage, YP.com, like we've talked about a million times, is selling water damage leads for $400 a call. Cool. Please post your Lead Kahuna link. Yeah, man, it's right inside of checklist 5 right here, right? So copy link URL. There you go. Cherie, it's good to see you. You need to get in Slack. Cherie just joined our mastermind. Is your partner in crime on here too? John Oates says, how do you get the YP cost on water damage? John, we got it from friends of ours actually going after and bidding after a company that was being sold leads from YP.com. Heard it directly from the salesperson's mouth, right? They had a proposal that was for $400 a call. Adam Jacobs says, info on Mastermind. AJ, man, hit me up. John Ramirez, what's up, brother? So, guys, these guys are sick. John and Cherie, they sell sites for like 15, 20, 30 grand just for somebody to get access to them, and they're like leasing them, right? And then they're selling every month. You got to keep paying. It's 10, 15 grand a month just to keep the site. These guys are monsters. We got to get you guys on one of these calls. All right, so handling objections here, step 4. What we did here is just put together some of the most common objections. If you guys have been doing sales for any amount of time, you guys know how to brush off objections. You guys know how to handle objections and how to get somebody's attention, right? If you're newer to sales, you're afraid of making sales calls, this objection handling doc will help you out with a lot of the most common objections that you'll get. Cool. Let's see, Tim says, what's the Slack link? Sorry, Tim, we have a Slack group for our mastermind members, right? So we all communicate in Slack and have access to each other, everybody in the group, around the clock, right? So, sorry, that's not really a public thing. Step number 5 is onboarding, right? So once a customer says yes, what do you guys do? So what I found is that a lot of people can get the sales process down. They can get comfortable picking up 1, 2 new sales a month pretty quickly, right? But a lot of things start to fall apart once the sale happens, right? The client's like, what's going on? Where's access to my calls? They just don't know what's going on and have, you know, no idea, you know, what to expect from you, right? So what we did is I put together some different sections here under step 5 on onboarding, right? So what happens after the contact says yes, right? So we send over the contract personally. We are getting away from faxing and scanning and crap like that, such an annoyance. And we're using electronic signature programs. Personally, guys, right now we are using Right Signature. And we use them for some other things in the past. That's why we went with them. I wouldn't say that they're like unbeatable or there aren't other things out there. So I do a little bit of research, but Right Signature is who we're using. And we're on this business plan right here, $39 a month. So basically, we still sell some paper calls, some paper appointment, and percentage of revenue deals. We're still kind of spread out on our sales model. What we're working on is moving all new people as much as possible to the pay per call only model, and the reason is it's less accounting, it's less talking to the customer, and it's just more reliable for us month in and month out. So for us, as we scale, we're really trying to focus on the pay per call model so that it doesn't cost as much money to run reports and just get bogged down in the details. So what we have is our contracts ready to go inside of Right Signature. So whenever a contract or a company says, like the other day I was talking to a water damage company and they're like, all right, Joe, I'm sold, send me the contract. All I have to do is send them a link, right? And everything has the cursor in it and they just go through and they fill it out and electronically sign it. And then once it's actually signed in Right Signature, I just get it, I download a copy, I sign it as well, right? And then I send them a copy. Okay, so I'd highly recommend doing something with an electronic signature. Definitely helps a lot. In terms of actual onboarding, so once they say, okay, sell me, or I'm sold, you know, and they sign the contract. By the way, these are links to the contract, so you guys have them. Obviously, modify them, put in your own information. Should go without saying. Once they actually agree, right? They sign the contract. We have some onboarding paperwork that we send them. So we had some interesting things early on go on in our lead gen business where we found out some people weren't insured, some people didn't actually have licenses that we were selling leads to, and some kind of weird stuff happened. And so now we have kind of an onboarding paperwork process that we make people go through. It doesn't take very long. It's pretty easy, but we kind of like to dot our I's and cross our T's, if you will. So we just ask for proof of license if it's required in that niche, right? Proof of insurance. We ask who's our main point of contact, right? Who are we having our monthly calls with? Who handles billing? And who needs access to the call tracking platform, right? So typically it's the marketing director or the owner that gets access to this, and then typically somebody will handle billing like an account rep or some type of accountant type person in the company. So typically there's two different people that we're dealing with at a company. John says, will there be a recording? All caps. Yes, there will be, buddy. Steven says, you mean there's shady characters online? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. So basically, John, this goes out as an email once they sign up. So I'll send them back a copy of the executed agreement, meaning I signed it and dated it as well. And I'll attach it to this onboarding email, and it says, hey, congratulations, welcome aboard, and it asks them for these things. It says, basically, we're going to get ready to onboard them into our software and get their leads flowing, and in the meantime, we need this information. Okay, then once they send them this, we're going to send them back what we call a welcome kit. So after receiving the contract, the payment authorization, and all this onboarding paperwork, we send them out a welcome kit email. So we send them a doc like this. I'm sure most of you guys don't use anything like this. And basically this gets edited for every major brand that we target. And it says, you are the blank, right? You are the brand, right? You are the restoration pros. You are whatever brand it is that you're marketing your lead gen sites with, okay? And it says post by every phone. Okay, how it works. Water Heater Pros is referring new customers to your company. Create a seamless connection between our advertising and your company. The customer is responding to an advertisement from Water Heater Pros. What to expect? You will know it's our customers calling when you hear a short message before the caller is connected. The message says, customer referred by Water Heater Pros, right? That's the whisper. Help them to make this transition. When answering the phone, be sure to add, we are the Water Heater Pros, or Water Heater Pros in addition to your company name. For example, say, thank you for calling Joe's Plumbing. We are the Water Heater Pros. Does this make sense? Everybody got it? Okay, so I'm sure if you've been doing lead gen for some while, you'll see that this is a problem in the space. You have a site that's branded the Water Heater Pros, and you're working with Joe's Plumbing. They're your company, right? They're your lead gen company that you're working with. They're the one that's paying you. Customer calls, they're looking at this site, Water Heater Pros, and they call Joe's Plumbing, and they're like, Joe's Plumbing, and they're like, I don't know if I have the wrong number, or, is this the Water Heater Pros? This stops that, right? This helps make that seamless connection, okay? So all that you guys need to do with this is just give this as an example on Fiverr or something like that, and have a graphic designer for 10 or 20 bucks design you something that you guys can use for this. Okay, but I gave you guys this example again right here. Okay, so we give them that. We tell them to give that to everybody that's answering the phone, to post that by their phone, by their computer. That helps us make a smooth transition when our new customer starts answering the phone. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Next up, we let them know how to access analytic call tracking. Okay, we send them a 10-minute video that is an ACT walkthrough where we show them this is where you log in. Okay, so we use tracking.web1.co. Okay, so it's of that ACT install, and we just walk them through the basics. Right? Here's how to run a report. Here's where you can see all the calls. Here's how you can tag calls if you want. Here's how you listen to the recordings. Very, very, very minor. Okay, here's how you see if somebody called multiple times. Okay, stuff like that. Okay, then we give them, in that welcome kit email, we give them an explanation again. This is in our contracts, but we put this in the welcome kit again because we found out that that people weren't getting it. So we put it in our welcome kit again, and basically it's a overview of when we bill and how we bill. Right? So for example, if you sell somebody on weekly billing, what you would say is something like, for example, every Friday we'll send you your call report. You have till Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern to send any discrepancy, and Tuesday morning you will be billed. Right? And then you let them know how are discrepancies handled, right? Trust me, guys, if you don't tackle the stuff in this welcome kit, in this onboarding paperwork, and you get 10, 15 clients, you're going to have a lot of unset expectations and are going to end up working way harder than you should be. Okay, so just take 15 minutes and come up with these questions and these emails. Okay, do a quick run through of ACT so that you can show them how it works and where they log in and how they can run a report and listen to calls, right? Take 15 minutes and get the welcome kit and the onboarding paperwork ready. So any questions real quick on the last step here, step 5, the onboarding, right? Onboarding, what happens when they say yes? Rob says, do some clients resist weekly billing? Do you do monthly billing? So Rob, that's a really, really good question. So we've typically done weekly billing, or I'm sorry, monthly billing. In high ticket niches, like water damage, if we sell a customer for $400 a lead, let's just even say 300, okay? 300 bucks a lead, and we're generating 30 billable calls a week. You do the math. Okay, that can turn into a boatload of money. Okay, so when we have some volume and we have high ticket, we will bill weekly at least to start the relationship so that we can make sure that they can handle it, right? That they can handle a $9,000 bill a week. Okay? And if they can't, we'll back it back down, right? And we won't send them all the calls. We'll get 2 or 3 vendors set up to be able to take the calls, right? We'll work with 3 restoration companies in that area. So I hope that makes sense, Rob. The other thing is when you're in big ticket niches like this, the money adds up really quickly, right? I gave the example, 9,000 bucks in a week. Like, that's nuts, okay? What happens if you have a weekly client and you have a monthly client and they don't pay one bill? If you're doing weekly, let's say, and it's 30 calls a week, that's $9,000. Okay, if it's monthly that you're billing, that's $36,000 that you lost. Not that you lost, I mean, you didn't have to pay a bunch of money out of pocket, right, for it, but you should have that money, right? Okay, so we're just kind of mitigating risk in big ticket niches by at least when we start, we're billing weekly. Jill says, how do you, so do you have to listen to every call? Is it determined by the length of the call? It's all based upon what you set up, Jill. The easiest way is to do by a second duration, right? So, hey, we're going to bill you for every call over 30 seconds or 60 seconds. The other way to do it, the way that we've been doing it that's not getting much pushback, people are happy about, is we tell people that as long as there's, forget the word, it's not coming to me. As long as there's intent on the call, Jill, meaning if we're selling water damage leads to a restoration company and somebody calls up and says, I have water damage, that's intent, right? They're trying to fix an issue, right? Meaning it's not a telemarketer, it's not a spam call, anything like that, then we bill them. So we've had some pushback in the high ticket niches where we're trying to sell a lead or a call for 200, 300, 400 bucks, and we're like, you know, a billable call is 30 seconds, right? Sometimes we get some pushback. And typically it was just like, tough luck, that's what it is, that's what I would say, and just be like, you know, if it's a spam call, get off the phone in 30 seconds and you won't be billed. But it was kind of abrasive to have that type of conversation with a prospect. So instead, what I tried is pitching that the caller has to have intent. And all of a sudden, that 30 seconds went away, right? I wasn't getting that same response that I was with the 30-second timeline. So what's funny though, Jill, is if you look at the calls, probably 99% of the calls that come in have intent if they're over 30 seconds, right? So it's basically the same thing. So I hope that helps. John Oates says, I try to get a retainer and bill against it weekly, Sunday nights. John, our old method, preferable method was retainer, and I love that model. The only problem is sometimes when you get a retainer, what would happen is we'd get a month's retainer up front, and then we'd bill against it every week or every 2 weeks. The problem is we're going after some really big niches right now, right? So water damage, again, if it's $9,000 a week, for them to get started, my old method is they had to pay for a month of leads up front and a retainer. That's 36 grand. That's a little hard to make a sale for 36 grand versus 9 grand, right? So that's why we've kind of modified up that process a little bit. Isn't it legal to record a call and not say this call may be recorded? Sue, it all depends upon your state. In Florida, it's not illegal. There's actually an article about it in our support desk talking about what cities require what. So some cities require you don't have to say anything. And some cities require that you say that the call is being recorded. Okay, cool. So just a couple FAQs. How should I price? Again, we've talked about this, but take your prospects through the SEO proposal template. Here's that actual link. Also, again, guys, you guys put in the link for Home Advisor leads. If you don't have leads coming in, what should you do? Okay, you guys are ready for sales. You don't have leads coming in. What do you do? How do you bring in the cash flow? Okay, go through that SEO proposal template. Go sell them some SEO deals. Okay, the way that we sell SEO deals through the SEO proposal template is sick. You will not make more money doing anything else besides lead gen. Point blank. So the other thing that's cool is that this will help you get used to the analysis that you do and drawing the information out of a prospect, right? And you're going to use that same thing inside of lead gen, right? So if you're cash strapped right now, you need to bring on some cash. You need to bring on $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month recurring in the next 30 days, and you don't have leads coming in yet for lead gen, this is what you do. Give me a 1 if everybody's got that. Don't have leads coming in from any lead gen sites. You need cash flow, right? Your cash flow is starved. Your business is starved. This is what you do. Okay. And here's what I'll do too. I'll extend the contest. Anybody that just uses the SEO proposal template and sells an SEO deal or a lead gen deal in the next week, I'll still do that consult with you and pay for you to come to the next Passive Assets Mastermind. Again, the only condition here, guys, the only conditions here is we only have a week, right? So it's going to end next Wednesday. You have to send in the proof, and I can't give away 40 spots to the event, right? It's a small mastermind group. Last time was the biggest one that we had, and there were 40 people. 40? Ryan, was it 40? 30?
I think it was 20, 22.
22 people there, right? And I don't want to get bigger than that, right? 30 max. All right, cool. So the next up is one bonus that I promised to give you guys when you guys bought Launchpad. If you bought in the last 60 days, or one of the bonuses that I gave you guys was this interview with my buddy Byron. The link is in here. So this is an interview that I did on his success with water damage and restoration niche, how he's selling clients, the rebuttals that he's getting, what he's charging, kind of A to Z. I just grilled his brain because he's doing more than anybody else that I know right now. But very quickly, I think we might have already surpassed him in revenue just since Christmas in the water damage space. So good stuff. Watch me grill him. And again, that link's just at the bottom of the page here. So questions, guys. Oh, you mean watch the SEO proposal template and do that for cash now? Yes. If you're cash strapped, cash hungry, you don't have leads coming in the door right now, you need to bring in some revenue. Go through the SEO proposal template, sell that fast cash, right? So a couple people are commenting in here about the pricing in Home Advisor for water damage. Okay, understand, guys, that these lead fees, they're selling multiple times. Okay, and understand the quote that I gave you guys for $400 per call is coming from Yellow Pages, YP.com, not Home Advisor. Some people are thinking I'm a liar or something and saying, hey, they're only charging $70 a lead. I thought you said it was 400. I wasn't talking about Home Advisor, right? Yellowpages.com. Okay, there's a difference. Nah, brah, chill. It's all good. Cool. Questions, guys. Again, that contest, until next week, I'll do a one-on-one session with you guys, coaching session. Come up with a personalized plan for you on how to scale to 7 figures. And if I think you're a go-getter, if I think you have what it takes, I'll pay for you to come out to our Passive Assets Mastermind. To qualify, all that you guys have to do is pick up a lead gen client or an SEO client using our training. That's it. So, Ryan, man, if you could jump back in here heavily for the next couple of minutes, let's knock out any questions that we're getting.
Yep.
AJ says, free trip coming up, you the man. Look forward to having you, AJ.
Somebody's asking kind of like a couple people, what's covered in the mastermind? What do we do during those workshops?
So the mastermind is a true mastermind. Okay, you will not find me doing what we've done with the execution checklists for the last 6 weeks, right? In fact, at the last one, people would ask questions saying, what order should I build things or how should I do things? And I would pull up the execution map and say, all right, so here it is. Here's what we do first. Here's what we do second. And I take them through what you guys already have. Understand that the mastermind is for expanding your business. If you're just getting started, the mastermind isn't for you, right? It's a true mastermind. We go around the room, do introductions, and everybody talks about what they need help with. Everything that people need help with goes on a whiteboard, and we figure out who's good at those topics, right? Who's crushing it with sales? Who's having problems with Google Maps? Who's doing really well with Google Maps? And we pair it up, right, to have a conversation as a group on each of the trending topics, right? So it's a true mastermind. It's not me teaching a group, right? So that's what the execution workshop is. That's why we built the execution workshop, was to take you guys through the steps, right? So if you're not there yet, you're not ready for a mastermind, you're not doing 6 figures, okay, then you need to come to the execution workshop first, where we're going to deep dive and go through this stuff live. It's going to be a working session, and where you guys will be able to answer some questions too, and ultimately, hopefully, prepare you guys then for the mastermind. So Ryan, you think that's good?
I think that was exactly what they were looking for.
Let's see. John says, just sitting in the room with like-minded folks is enough inspiration to make the value exponential to the check you write. Thanks for that, John. I like that quote.
Got a lot of people pretty confident
John,
they're going to win this
site?
contest.
Do you care if I drop it here on this? What was that?
So I got a lot of people psyched for this contest. Everybody looks like they're off and running already.
Let's see. I got to show you guys something. So the guy that just said that, John Ramirez, this is his site. And when I saw it at our last mastermind, I about laughed my ass off. I thought it was like the best thing ever. Look at this guy's background. Like, I am like, John, dude, I am totally ganking this from you. I am stealing this. Like, is this not the best thing ever? I mean, that is so badass. Love this background. It looks like such a boss. All right, so questions. What exactly does Lead Kahuna do? Christopher, it finds leads for you. You put in the niche, you put in the city, it finds the leads, find their email, and a bunch of other data. It pulls back on the leads for you. Let's see. Joe says if we're not in a snack pack and should we choose a different city? No, go do authority citations, right? If you're not ranking yet how you want if you're not ranking in the 3-pack, maybe you're 10, right? Go find authority citations and keep it going. Okay, the other thing to think about is if you have moderate to heavy competition in maps, you're not going to pop right away. So, for example, water damage St. Petersburg. This is one of the sites obviously we built with you guys. We're not in the top 3 yet. I think we're like it varies between like 11 and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, number 10 on this one, right? But we were like number 15, we were 17, we were 11. This is the best I found it at number 10 here. And so what we're doing now is we're building the authority citations, and we're getting reviews to this, right? So with reviews, I don't care if I can just get to the 3 spot here. Nobody else has the 5-star reviews and that nice 5-star showing, right? So if we can just get to number 3 and we can get five reviews that are 5 stars, we're going to attract all the attention, right? So the next step for me on this listing, right, is to go get more authority citations. Okay, and again, you guys follow the resource that we put together as directed in the execution map on digital triggers, how to rank on Google Maps. If you Google that, you'll find it. The other thing to do is to pull up the tool that we were just talking about. Drawing a blank. Somebody help me out. What was the citation tool that we just pulled up? Citation Finder. I can't believe White Spark. Here we go. Use the White Spark tool. Pull your competitor's citations and then compare it to yours, right? And then give that list of citations or listings that you don't have to WL Marketing to go build. That easy, Joe. Hope that helps, brother. Mark Casey says, can I use Ring Partner for restoration leads until I get decent volume? Ring Partner, I think it's like a $10, $8 payout, $9 payout, something like that for water damage. Because of the big gap, personally, Mark Casey, I would not send the calls to Ring Partner first, right? Because you sell water damage leads, let's say you can't get 400, let's just say you sell it for 3, right? You get 1 call a week, that's $1,200 a month. You send it to Ring Partner, you may make 20. So in low ticket niches, until you find a client, I'm all about Ring Partner, right? But in high ticket niches, you're just losing too much money. I missed the last training. CC says it's inside a Launchpad, brother. Will WL Marketing do authority site citations? Yeah, authority citations are just a list of citations that you put together, right? So you give them a custom list, they will build them. WL Marketing, exactly. Tim Parker wants a link for local oxygen, please. Their contact information and everything, Tim, is inside the execution map. So I believe that would have been checklist 2 or 3. 2. Here we go. I think execution checklist 2. Here we go. Right here, buddy. I put it in the chat for you too, man. How many of you guys right now have a site that is ranking in Google Maps from following the execution checklist? So just type in ranking in the chat. That would be awesome. Chris Vise. Qzx900. Terry Petrovic. Terry, if you would please, man, give us some input here on the webinar of what city you went after and what niche. I want to announce it on the webinar. Willie, Jeff, Errol, wow, Mike, Tim, actually, scratch that. Tim was just asking a question. Tim says, WL Marketing does a great job. Sent them 5 last week of the 300 package. Yeah, man, they do a really, really good job. Just make sure when you do your submission, you take time to fill out the form. The only time I've ever had a bad experience with WL Marketing is when it was my own fault. When I, instead of business name, I put in like the persona name, and I had to have them go back and fix them all, but that was my fault in a big way, not WL Marketing's fault. Let's see, ranking. Yes. Damn, Jack, that's a big one. Guys, crushing it. Rally, ranking. Dude, Terry, congrats. Holy shit. You guys are doing awesome. Cool. Storage company, awesome, Willie. Link to that checklist. Adam, all the checklists are in the chat. I'll put it in one more time, man. So again, guys, I just pasted all of the checklists inside of the chat, 1 through 5. John Ramirez says, hey guys, awesome webinar. I've literally got a call to go win this contest. I'll let you know how it goes. You are so patient, Mel says. Thanks. I'm sure you're probably talking about Ryan, though, Mel, not me. I'm not that patient. Cool. So again, if you guys are ranking for stuff, let us know. And guys, we're just taking questions, right? So we're here to hang out. I think we kind of completed the 5th checklist there, going through it. So here to hang out with you guys for a little bit longer. I got to be off of here by 3:50 at the absolute latest. I have a call at 4. So shoot from the hip. We're here to answer.
A lot of questions about reviews. How are we getting reviews?
Yep. Cool, man. Kenwook Plumber. Nice job, Mike. So how are we getting reviews? Great question. So there is a white side of getting reviews, and there is a gray or black side of getting reviews. It just depends on your tolerance level and kind of what you believe in, right? So the easiest way, we'll start with that. The whitest, cleanest way is for you guys to get a client, send the client the leads, right, and then follow up with the customer and get them to leave a review. Right, so the easy way to do that is to use a platform like Rep Kahuna or what's Hershey's tool? Drawing a blank. I'm not sure. Reputation Bug it used to be called, but then I think they rebranded it. So any major review getting tool will help you guys with this. And basically, the only real qualification that you guys need, or that I look for specifically in a reputation tool for lead gen specifically, is I want the splash page that says thumbs up or thumbs down before a prospect gets sent to Google to leave a review. And so basically what this is it's a filter. Right? So if they say thumbs down, it's just going to send them to a web form that says, sorry you had a bad experience or something, let us know what happened. If it's good, they're going to send them to the Google page to actually leave a review. Does that make sense to everybody? So for me, that's kind of like a rep loop. Yep, that's it. So for me, it's kind of like a warranty, or it makes sure that we're not going to get bad reviews on our Google Plus page. Right? And does it happen? Yes, every once in a while, right? But it stops most of it. Okay, so that's what we look for in a reputation platform. And basically, guys, what we would do is we would find everybody that actually booked an appointment or had some type of work done through our lead gen site, just listen to the calls, grab the phone numbers, and then inside of ACT, we send them out an SMS. and we say, hey, we hope your experience with XYZ, our lead gen site name, was awesome. We'd really love some feedback. We're going to give away a $100 gift card to one lucky person in the next week that leaves us a review. Right? Give them an incentive, or $50 or $20 or a free service call. Talk to the company that you're actually working with, whatever, right? Go on restaurants.com, guys, and order a gift certificate, for like half off, right? I'm sure some of you guys have seen this, right? If I could spell again. Dude, you see that? You see how I spelled restaurants? Guys, if I can do this, you guys can too, right? Let me pull this up here. So they have all these deals on restaurant.com where it's like, get $50 worth of food for $25 or something like that, right? Go give them one of these and it costs you $10, right? Glenn says we like hanging with Joe. Awesome. Who did I see, Ryan, earlier? I saw somebody said, it was a female, said that they just sold lead gen for $35 a week.
Who did I see that?
Or $35 a call. I'm sorry, not $35 a week. Whoever that was, respond back in. Yes, you definitely qualify for the contest. They said they just sold it the other day. Natalie says, I'm getting 1 to 2 calls a week. Roughly, should I find a business now or wait for higher volume? So, Natalie, for me, if it's a high-ticket niche, if it's water damage, for example, or roofing, right, I would go find a client right now, right, because that's money in your pocket and good money, right? If you're going to charge $50, $100, $200, $400 a call, that's some good money. It'll add up, right? If it is, if it's $10 or $20 a call and you're only getting one a week, I wouldn't worry about it, right? So I hope that helps.
So that was Miss Jamie selling the leads earlier for $35.
All right, Jamie. Yep. Submit a support ticket.
Yeah.
You qualify for sure. Everybody knows what rep loop is, man. Everybody replied.
Yeah.
Is white? All right. So look, somebody asked, is White Spark citation building any good? Let me have you guys answer that. Okay. What do you guys think about that, based upon what you guys have learned in the execution maps? Let's see if you're paying attention. And through these webinars, is White Spark citation building any good? Okay, we got no, not good, yes, WL marketing. All right. So I don't doubt that WL marketing does a great job building citations. What we recommend
White Spark
marketing. Man, White Spark. I don't doubt that they do a good job building citations. However, they charge a lot more money than WL marketing. So what we prefer to use is White Spark to do the analysis of the citations that we can go build, right? The extra citations that we can get to match our competition. We use their software for that, but then we export the results and we hand it to WL marketing, because they build citations for something like 30, 40 cents a citation, right? Versus $3, $4, $5 a citation, like a lot of people in the space. Cool. Yeah, David. He just sold a carpet cleaning and restoration in DC for $2,000 down and 33% of whatever the site brings in. So we got 33% because the guy didn't want to do pay per lead. You definitely qualify for the contest, man. Ryan, write down his name as well. So submit a support ticket just with any proof that you have, David. We'll ask some clarifying questions. You definitely qualify. We'll jump on the phone, get your consult set up, man. So Barry says, what do you do with any leads you get before you have a customer to send them to? Again, so if we have any leads coming in and it's a high-value niche, we're going to try to sell it right away, right? If it's a low-value niche, we're going to wait for the volume to lead up a little bit, right? For example, if I'm going after water damage, or I'm sorry, not water damage. If I'm going after appliance repair, that's a lower ticket niche, right? If I'm going after appliance repair, I would wait until I got at least probably 10 leads a week for it to even be worthwhile to go sell a client and then retain them, right? To keep having meetings with them and, just it doesn't make a whole lot of sense before 10 calls, right? So until I got 10 calls, personally what I would do, Barry, is I would send them through Ring Partner. So Ring Partner is a pay-per-call platform, and you're not going to make a bunch of money, Barry, at all. But it's at least somewhere for the calls to go instead of just to voicemail. Oh, Phil says, what was the Black Hat way of getting reviews? You just pay for them. So, I'll show you. Hang on. So how many of you guys have heard of Source Market? Do a search for reviews. You give them a review, they'll post it on Google. Here's one that you can do. Google Plus reviews. Stick your business, 5 real 5-star reviews. Here's another one. Let's see. Laura says, do you consider a veterinarian a high-value niche? Yes, definitely, especially when you segment into, Laura, an emergency vet, right? Because in an emergency, people spend a lot of money. Okay, my dog, I have a French bulldog. My French bulldog, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, she ran literally into, in the road, she ran into an SUV. The SUV didn't run into her. She ran into it, right? And so we take her to the emergency vet. We think like everything's wrong. It was horrible, right? Before I know it, they're like, okay, we think we need to do this. I'm like, all right, what's that going to cost? I'm just curious. They're like, we don't know yet, right? They get done with it. There's $1,000, right? And then they're like, okay, we need to do this. And I'm like, okay, what's it going to cost? I don't know yet. They do it. There's $2,000, right? Then she's got to stay overnight, and it just keeps going and going and going. And at some point, most people just can't say no. So for me, high value niche, definitely vet is in it, but especially in the emergency side of things, people are crazy about their pets. They're like their kids, right? So, and when you get into the emergency side, it's obviously going to convert really, really, really well. So this is where you guys can get reviews. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying do not do it, but it does work. Okay, you get people to post your actual reviews for you. That is a way to do things. The white, clean way is that you guys use a rep platform. You send out an SMS to everybody that has done business with your lead gen site, and you ask them for a review just like a normal business would, right? The right way. Joe Glickman says, what's the lead cost for emergency vet? Honestly, I don't know. I've never been really in that space. I always thought it was a good one, but never personally been in it. Andrew says, I've tried this, and sometimes Google removes reviews. The cool thing is that one of these, if not both of it, guarantee that they'll stick, right? So if you can find somebody that guarantees that it'll stick, then, I mean, you got a pretty damn good investment right there, right? Hunter Williams says, that just happened last night to my cat, man. It's horrible. Sorry to hear that. Rob says, at what point in the water damage niche does it become viable to approach a business to sell them leads? Man, Rob, if you're getting 1 call a week, that's a viable lead. Selling it at $300 plus a call, I think it's viable to go sell it right away, right? Those leads add up fast. If you can charge for 1 billable call a week, I mean, that's $1,200. So give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are following along, but you haven't got your Google My Business verified yet. Okay, you're following along, but you haven't got Google My Business verified yet. All right. Willie says he's so jacked up. Thank you for starting this year off. This is what I needed, this kick in the ass. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys, so we got a handful of people that gave 1s, right? They still haven't got a Google My Business verified, right? So what I want you guys to think about is this. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I don't give a shit about my SEO rankings if I can rank in Google Maps. Again, I could care less about ranking organically if I rank in Google Maps. That's how important it is. Understand, guys, you guys all know by now, even if you haven't been a customer for long as you've been attending these, you understand I'm all 80-20, right? We get the majority, overwhelming majority of our calls from Google Maps. And again, as long as I'm in Google Maps, I don't give a shit about SEO, right? Because I may only get an extra 10% in overall call volume if I rank, let's say, number 1 or number 2 for the biggest keyword phrase in the niche if I'm already ranking well in Google Maps, right? It's just not worth the time. Does that make sense to everybody? I mean, I might as well go out in the neighboring city and start to build another site, right? Pick out 5 cities that are close that the same lead gen company that I'm working with could go service and just go build sites there. Or use the local spinner and go do that, right? But understand, guys, it's just not Google Maps is where it's at. If you guys can rank in Google Maps, you're going to crush it. Okay? So please, please, please keep your eyes focused on the ball, right? And the ball is Google Maps verification. Glenn says, understood. I just started yesterday, was out of the country, did maps 1 and 2 in 24 hours. He's on it. Awesome, man. Yeah, man, just a little spammy, Hunter Williams. Roger says, what if you're in Maps and you don't get many calls? Well, in order to get a bunch of calls from Google Maps, you need A, to be in the top 3, and B, you need 5 stars. Okay? A in the top 3, B, 5 stars. Okay? So you need 5 reviews of 5 stars. That's how you get the call volume, Roger. So if you look at like a lot of lead gen sites that we've showed you, we've been attacking them because we got another client on board, right? So you'll see that, you know, we're going after them in a big way, and one of the things is we're working on the reviews, right? We must have had a 4.5, not a 5, but hey, we got the stars showing up. It's weird. Sometimes, like literally in the morning, you'll rank in the top 3, and then in the afternoon you won't. So not real worried about that. Delray, Beach, right? But getting the stars to show is a big deal, right? So check this out, right? Ranking number 1, and we got 5 stars, right? That's a big deal. When you look at this, who are you going to call? These guys, right? All right, guys, it is 3:50. I have to jump on another call. Don't forget about that contest. Again, guys, I'm not joking. Quite a few people on our mastermind have literally paid me $500 to $1,000 for a consulting call and then gotten in our mastermind. I'm literally doing the call for you guys for free, all right? And I can't do it for everybody, but that's my gift for you guys for taking action. I want to spend time with people that are taking action. I want to help the people that are getting off their ass and that are going to change their life in 2016. So awesome hanging out with you guys. It's been a blast. If you guys need anything, always know our support team is here for you guys. We'll talk soon. Later, everybody.
Bye, everyone.